You've been listening to Real Estate Deal Talk.
All right, Deal Talk Nation, we are back. I'm Abhi Golhar, yours truly, and we're about to talk about wholesaling real estate in this next 8 minutes that I have you for. So we're going to do our best to cram as much information into this segment as possible. So if you're driving, make sure you pull over, grab out your crayon, color pencil, piece of paper, take some notes, because it's going to be a lot of fun and very informative. You're going to get a lot of good, actionable intelligence that you can use to make some money today, not tomorrow. That being said, Al, first couple of steps that you should look for and do. Well, first couple steps that you should do wholesaling real estate.
Yeah, absolutely. So, if you're brand new into the business, what I like to do, and this is kind of what I preach, I call it like reverse wholesaling. I like to get my buyers first. A lot of guys say, no, you got to find a deal and then find buyers. I always try to find my buyers first because I can find out what they want. I would rather have 5 people and know what they want and go find it than go find a house that I have no idea if anybody's going to want and try to sell it. So for me, my number one thing is to do kind of find your buyers first. That's what I always have done. That's the way I got into the business.
Yeah.
Because look, my key to success with my company and my clients is that I want to be efficient. Okay. And being efficient is not taking 10 houses, putting them out to our buyers list and selling one of them. Okay. Being efficient is getting 10 houses, sending them out to our buyers list and selling 10 houses. And that's kind of what we thrive on. So for me, I always know what to look for. I'm not like I'm not trying to find a needle in a haystack. I know what we're looking for. So for me, that's been our key to success. So if you're new to wholesaling, guys, I would definitely make sure that you know what you're looking for. Don't go try to find a deal that you think is a deal and then go, try to go sell it. For me, the success always came from knowing what I could sell. There have been a lot of guys that are successful doing it that way, but for me, I just always felt more comfortable knowing that when I go into a contract, I can get this thing sold like right away. So for me, that's, I'd say, number one.
Gotcha. Buyers first that's number one all the time. I'm finding buyers. What's number two?
Yeah. Number two is make sure it's your own deal.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Make sure it's your own deal that you're trying to sell. I mean, there's so many times at least in my market, and I'm sure it's the same in other markets, where I'll be on a wholesaler's buyers list and they send me properties I've seen from 5 or 6 other people. And the problem is they're all at different prices. No one has any idea who is in control and who can actually do something with them. So if you want to be successful wholesaling, make sure they're your deals. Go do the dirty work, man. Go get your own deal. Go deal with your own sellers. Get your own contracts. Don't do the lazy thing and go find some other wholesalers' deals and try to sell them. You can do that, but make sure that you know what you're doing. A lot of guys, they just think they can be a wholesaler, so they go get a list. They go send it out to their email list, and nothing ever happens. So make sure it's your deal. And for me, that separates you from, I would say, maybe 70% of the people out there, because that's, at least in Detroit, I see a ton of that. And look, the guys that are actually doing business here, once we catch on to it, it's like you go on the blacklist. So there's a lot of guys that come and go quickly because it's a very tight-knit community. And you don't want that to happen to you. You want those guys that when they see you, or they know it's going to be a good deal from you that you can control and get to a closing table. And I think, like I said, that's more important than a lot of the other things as well. So
yeah, fair enough. So number one, buyers list. Build that, even if it's 2 or 3 or 4 buyers that will buy from you consistently. So here's the other question: how do you know a buyer's a buyer and a buyer's not just a fake person? Like they're just stringing you along.
Yeah, good question. For me, you got to verify, get a proof of funds. To me, if I talk to somebody, you can kind of tell. I mean, I've been in it for a long time, so I can kind of pick up on when someone is full of it or not. But if you ask somebody for a proof of funds and they get kind of like, man, I don't know, I don't want to give you my proof of funds, or they can't give you a proof of funds. To me, that's a big one.
Yeah.
And like you said earlier, on social, you can go do research on these people. Go look them up, see what they're all about. There's a lot of information out there on people nowadays, and If they've been doing this for a little while, you can find them. I'd get their company name, and you can go look these people up on public record. Type in their company name, and there's tools out there that you can see if they've actually done any business. So for me, those are two good things that I do. And sometimes you just got to kind of, hope that they close. I mean, there's a lot of people that talk a lot of big game in the city. That sometimes they may not close. So you kind of have to go out there and just get your hands dirty and I don't want to say hope and pray that they're going to close, but use your judgment. Usually your gut is right. If you think they're real, they probably are. If you don't think they are, they probably aren't.
Yep.
And for me, that alone is definitely helped me determine who's who and who's not.
Awesome.
Sure.
Trust your gut. Deal Talk Nation. We'll be right back.
We'll be right back on Real Estate Deal Talk.